They're temporarily insane. Can they listen to logic? No. Okay. The parents want to be heard. When someone starts yelling, they begin to lose their ability to use logic or hear reason. So how we respond can either diffuse or escalate the parent. It's kind of the same thing with kids. Okay, do you want 1 week? You got a week. Oh, you want to go for 2? Oh, you're going to keep going. All right, come on, keep going. Oh, you got 2. You sound like an auctioneer, right? You get up to about 4 to 6 weeks. And, of course, the kid's in the house with who? You. Who gets the greater punishment? You. And then you end up backpedaling and saying, okay, I'll take it down to 1 week. Now, there are ways to get out of that. There are ways to get out of that. See, I'll tell you what, like you rebuild my trust, and then I'll let you off in a week. You do a chore for mom, not one of your chores. You do one of my chores, I'll let you off. Of course, you can't do that with parents, right? So let's talk about that. Speak in a calm tone, okay, and lead them to, now if they're, obviously you can lead them to a secure, quiet area. If you're in a staffing, hopefully that is a secure area. If the parents are, they're in the hallway or something, maybe you can walk outside. If they walk up to you and they're yelling and screaming, oh, you know what? I know what you have to say. Boy, it sounds like it's really, I can see you're really frustrated. Let's go talk about this over here. Totally insane. Do you like that? All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to vex the person. We're going to vex them, V-E-C. If they upset us, we're going to validate them first. Now, for us guys, gentlemen, there were 2 words that are really hard for us to say. As we were growing up and we were in high school, the word commitment, boy, that was good. Did you hear how I said that? See, speech therapy really paid off. Commitment, that was a tough word to say. And validation is it's like trying to teach me French. Teach a guy a foreign language in 5 minutes, or anybody for that matter. Seriously, validation is a foreign concept to most men, and that's because it's about emotions, about feelings. And so we get so tied up in how illogical the person is, that the things that they're saying, you're such an idiot, you're the worst teacher, I can't believe they hired you. Well, that's not necessarily, is that really true what they're saying when they're insane? Not necessarily. They may feel it at the time, but they've taken something the kid said, hook, line, and sinker. Or maybe you did make a mistake. Anybody human in here? Yeah. All right. Okay. So, and of course, if we did, it's really hard again that they're yelling at us to be apologetic, isn't it? If we get defensive, then we start to dig in our heels, and then we dig a bigger hole sometimes. And then we have to come back later and say, you know what, maybe I thought about this, and maybe I was wrong, and maybe I shouldn't have done this, or maybe the way you responded to their kid just doesn't meet their needs, or maybe it's part of their IEP as far as how to respond to them when they're upset, and you didn't follow it, because how do you follow? You have 3 or 4 IEPs on a kid in middle school. You had various middle school and high school, 3 or 4 IEPs on 3 or 4 different kids in every class. How do you remember all that? How do you? It's very difficult. And some schools aren't even doing that. A lot of private schools don't do individualized education plans. And that's, again, why I do the ADHD talk here every year, and ACSI, because we really need to get this into schools because of kids like my brother and my dad. That's why I do this. So we agree with how they feel. Very simple, guys. Men, agree with how they feel. I can see you're frustrated. I can see you're angry. Well, and then the parent might go, duh. Or even teenagers will do that too. What gave you that idea? I'm busy. I work 70 hours a week. And you're making me come down here? This stupid little thing, you can't fix this? What do you need me for? Well, we need you to get involved in your son. You don't spend enough time with your, right? Is that? I think some teachers do that. Well, listen to them, full attention, show understanding. You can, just nod. You can look at them, nod, use a soft voice. Wow, I can see you're frustrated. Let them talk a little bit more. And then as they tell you, you empathize with them. So you agree with their emotion. Parents want to be heard. How many of you guys have heard teenagers want to be heard? You don't listen to me when I'm talking to you. We're going to talk about that. That's actually the next hour, the no-nos of oppositional defiance. How do you listen to those kids and diffuse the oppositional kids as well? It's very similar. Ventilation, let them vent. After you validate, pause to allow for a response. I'm frustrated, or I'm not frustrated, I'm angry. Or, of course I'm angry. You know what? When they do that, that's called therapy. Did you know that? That's therapeutic. It's like confession. It really is. When you confess something, you get it out, it feels good, doesn't it? It's the same feeling. They're starting to feel better just by getting it out. And all of a sudden, how many of you guys have done that? And you've seen that that's helped? Raise your hand. Just by hearing them, letting them vent, and then you agree with how they feel, and then you move on. Empathy. I can see why you're frustrated. Now, I made it really simple for the men. If you go back to the previous slide, it says, I can see you're frustrated. The next slide, anybody see the difference? The word what? Why? I just added the word why. I can see why you're frustrated. Please pause, though, between validation and empathy. Let them vent. If you just keep going and you make it sound like you're reading something off a teleprompter, then there's no heart in that. So just give them a chance to vent. It won't work otherwise. So I can see why you're frustrated. You're saying that you're busy. Say it. If they say that, I'm busy. Okay, then use that. Yeah, because you're really busy. And you really shouldn't need to come down here for this. And I really wish, you didn't have to. And I understand that you pay good money for this school. Tell them that. They're going to say that, right? I pay good money. I have to make a lot of sacrifices. I have to work an extra job to put my kids in this school. And then you're going to make me come down here? Plus, I pay my taxes. So I understand you pay a lot of good money to come here. And we really do appreciate the opportunity to serve you and to serve your child and to be there for your child. Again, you lower your voice because they're going to want to hear it.